Is a B&M Hyper finally coming to the West Coast? California's Great America is a mid-sized cedar fair park located in Northern California. Due to its location, many enthusiasts don't seem to get up here and rather spring for destinations down south like Knott's Berry Farm and Six Flags Magic Mountain. But guys, this park is awesome. What a great time. I've been here on two separate occasions, so I think I have a pretty good feel for the park. It also happens that California's Great America is due for a new coaster. A B&M Hyper has been rumored for this park for a while now, but I think that finally may be happening in 2023 or 2024, which would be a perfect fit. I feel like this rumor is referenced a lot, but is never fully explained, so I aim to do that in this video. Today, I'll be giving a full in-depth review of California's Great America and tell you everything you need to know before you visit, including, of course, the coaster lineup. In addition, I'll be discussing a possible B&M Hyper plus a few other predictions about what the next coaster may be. Before I begin, if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Let's get straight into it. Let's start with that rumored B&M Hyper. Enthusiasts love to talk vaguely about this rumor, but I think it's important to clear the waters. In March of 2016, Cedar Fair purchased the land that California's Great America sits on. In addition, they made zoning changes that would allow for attractions to stand over 200 feet in height. In January of 2017, rumors of the park's 5-year plan spread like wildfire that a launch roller coaster, hyper coaster, and even family wooden coaster may soon be coming to the park. In June of 2018, California's Great America files permits to build a, quote, steel roller coaster ride that stands 210 feet above the ground. The construction project was supposed to be completed by December of 2019, but that obviously never happened. In July of 2021, it was revealed that prices began to climb rapidly for the new attraction, and the contract with B&M was instead used to make Orion at Kings Island. The California's Great America project was under the codename Megabyte, which is a fantastic name considering how close the park is to Silicon Valley. The only question is, will this still happen? I think so. The park recently had been caught looking into adding a Mac multi-launch, but that also clearly never happened. Cedar Fair obviously has big plans for this park, but what will their next major addition be? The B&M Hyper is a perfect fit. There is nothing like it on the West Coast, and would absolutely tower over the park's skyline. The general public and enthusiasts can both agree that hypercoasters are awesome. It could fly over footpaths, and the station is rumored to be near Camp Snoopy. This project seemed pretty serious right until Cedar Fair changed it to Orion. I think we could be looking at a 2023 or 2024 opening on the Hyper. What if the park doesn't add a Hyper? What else could they add? A mock multi-launch would be an alright fit, since the park doesn't have a launch coaster. But come on, for the same price, you could have a 200-foot float-to-air time machine. I know which one I would rather have. On a side note, thankfully Wicked Twister will not be relocated to the park, because while I enjoyed my rides on it at Cedar Point, it's just an alright coaster that would reset the park's coaster timer. Lastly, I have to mention Rmc Grizzly. California's Great America already has a great modern wooden coaster in Gold Striker, so the Grizzly seems kind of pointless. Its layout would make a great RMC, adding an elite top 3 to the park. The only problem I see with this is that the Grizzly is a sort of stepping stone family coaster. I wouldn't call it a family coaster, but when I wrote it, the younger audience was definitely apparent. Maybe the park would want to keep this around. If they go through with that family wooden coaster, though, there'd be no reason for that. When talking about Cedar Fair parks getting an RMC, everyone's always like, but doesn't Cedar Fair have issues with RMC? No. This is a vague rumor that people love to reference, but it's nothing more than a baseless theory. There is very little evidence to support any of this, besides Cedar Point not paying RMC right away due to structural issues with Steel Vengeance. While this was breaking the contract, it means very little. I could still easily see Cedar Fair working with RMC, especially with the success of the other coasters they installed. I just wanted to say that because I feel like many people assume RMC is now like Intamin with Cedar Fair, and that could not be less true. Anyway, that B&M Hyper hopefully is coming sooner rather than later. Megabyte, coming 2023. Maybe. That's enough rumor talk. Let's get into the park review. I took my first ever coaster trip in the summer of 2018 at California's Great America in Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. This is the perfect trip for an enthusiast starting out in Southern California. It was my first trip. It almost had some kind of special magic to it. However, in my revisit during 2019, I got a clearer picture. Driving into the park, you'll notice the massive stadium where the 49ers play. The parking lot is a good size, and thankfully it's very close to the park, as someone who grew up by Magic Mountain. Upon entering, immediately you'll notice this is a very clean park, well landscaped and little trash. They also have some name brand food options inside the park, like a Starbucks and Subway, which was really great. This is not a very large park, but it can get a little bit confusing towards the back half near Flight Deck. But of course, let's talk about the coaster lineup. Gold Striker and Railblazer make an incredible 1-2 punch, easily one of the best in the country. Railblazer is just so fast-paced, very smooth and aggressive. When I first rode it, I knew it was my favorite coaster ever. Gold Striker is one of GCI's finest creations, and it feels like a rocket ship out of control, with insane pacing. It does tend to run a little rough though, which doesn't really bother me, but I know some others can get worn down by it. Besides the incredible top two, the park has a strong supporting cast with Flight Deck, Patriot, Demon, and more. I was actually really surprised by Patriot. It was really smooth and just a good ride. Anyway, if you are visiting California for coasters, you have to make a stop here, and adding Six Flags Discovery Kingdom to the plan wouldn't be too difficult. I highly recommend it. Have you guys been to California's Great America? What do you think their next coaster will be? Let me know what you think of the park in the comments, and thanks for watching.